Chapter 17, Forgiveness and the Holy Relationship. Original editions call it Forgiveness and Healing. New CE version calls it The Holy Relationship. All right, so we're in the Blue Book. Section 1, Bringing Fantasy to Truth. Remember, we said you bring fantasy to truth. You don't bring truth to fantasy. You bring illusion to truth. The betrayal of the Son of God lies only in illusions, and all his, quote, sins are but his own imagining. His reality is forever sinless. He need not be forgiven, but awakened. That's when you know someone's been awakened, because they've come to the place of understanding through forgiveness. The means is forgiveness. To what end? To the end that I know that there was never a need for forgiveness. In his dreams, he has betrayed himself. You ever hear someone say that? In your dreams. Hey, I betrayed myself and my brothers and God. In your dreams. In his dreams, he has betrayed himself, his brothers, and his God. Yet what is done in dreams has not been really done. It is impossible to convince the dreamer that this is so, for dreams are what they are because of their illusion of reality. Only in waking is the full release from them, for only then does it become perfectly apparent that they had no effect upon reality at all and did not change it. See, dreamers dream. They share dreams and they increase dreams. And it's impossible to convince a dreamer this is so. What so? That nothing occurred. If you don't really believe that, go into your local church, Christian church, this Sunday morning, stand up and yell, I am the Holy Son of God, and see what the dreamers want to do with you. They'll do the same thing with you in one form or another that they did with Jesus when he did and said the same. We have no problem with this guy. In fact, he's been doing some pretty cool stuff around here, but he claims to be the Son of God. This is why we're going to crucify him. We've seen the healings, but he claims to be able to forgive sin. And really says it's the same thing. He says he's the Son of God. Going to have to tack him up. Well, they'll attack you and tack you up in one form or another. Dreamers. Because they don't want to wake up. Fantasies change reality. That is their purpose. They cannot do so in reality, but they can do so. I'm not going to read the rest of this. Let me read this and stop midway. They cannot do so in reality, but they can do so. Huh? They cannot do so in reality, but they can do so. And let me read the rest of it. In the mind that would have reality be different. See, this thing about difference is the key. If you are the universe, you have to understand that there is no difference in the sons of God. You wanted it to be different. You wanted it to be special, but all the sons of God are the universe. From their perspective, they are the king of the kingdom. It's the equality of the sonship. It's the one son. All right, so in your mind, you can make it real. It's not reality, but you can make it real. He says in one place, hasn't it been real enough for us? Yep, that's why you turned and came and looked for salvation and found it through God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit in this book, in this course. Paragraph 2, it is then only your wish to change reality that is fearful, because by your wish you think you have accomplished what you wish. This strange position, in a sense, acknowledges your power, yet by distorting it and devoting it to, quote, evil, it also makes it unreal. You cannot be faithful to two masters who ask conflicting things of you. What you use in fantasy you deny to truth, yet what you give to truth to use for you is safe from fantasy. So where is the fear? The fear is that I've changed reality and that I had the power to do it. And so then I must have done it. I've distorted even my perception to think that I have devoted myself to evil by making the fantasy real. See, that's why there's so much guilt in fantasy. Even when we think of sexual fantasy or the use of mind or brain in fantasy, there's something feels wrong about it. That's not real. He says the reason it feels bad is you can only make it real for yourself. I can fantasize about something or someone, but they don't share that. That's not a shared thought. And so I'm back in this alone. This is my deal. This is my fantasy. Like Bad Company sang, it's a part of my rock and roll fantasy. It's a part of my rock and roll dream. I'm tired of dreaming. I don't want to dream anymore. I want a happy dream, because that'll help me from dreaming to wake up and stop dreaming. The happy dream is a shared dream. That's why there's no guilt in it. That fantasy is a shared fantasy. Alright, so this is where the fear comes in. When you maintain that there must be an order of difficulty in miracles, all you mean is that there are some things you would withhold from truth. You believe truth cannot deal with them only because you would keep them from truth. Very simply, your lack of faith in the power that heals all pain arises from your wish to retain some aspects of reality for fantasy. All the pain, all the conflict comes down to this. What part of the dream do you want to make real? What part of the fantasy do you want to keep instead of your reality? And your faith and your belief and your power work toward that. If you but realize what this must do to your appreciation of the whole, what you reserve for yourself you take away from him who would release you. Unless you give it back, it is inevitable that your perspective on reality be warped and uncorrected. This is why forgiveness is the means, because unforgiveness is selfishness. Unforgiveness says there's a difference between you and I, you a son and I a son. We're not in communication. We're not in communion. And this is my dream, and I will not see you the same as me. You are not my true self, and I'm alone here. So I'll focus on fantasy to keep my aloneness. So I'll have my special relationships with things and people and special love relationship, and I'll chase that fantasy thinking it's going to bring me something. Yeah, it's going to bring you something. It's called guilt. Because you are not appreciating the whole. You are continuing in a thought of separation. As long as you would have it so long will the illusion of an order of difficulty in miracles remain with you. For you have established this order in reality by giving some of it to one teacher and some to another. See, there's the dichotomy. There's the don't bring both truth and illusion into the mind without distinction and try to hold on to both at the same time. So I make differences. I make some things harder than others. I make some things more valuable than others. I evaluate, I distinguish, I judge, and I set up these orders and these levels, and levels can't communicate with other levels, and they can't understand other levels. So I have all this chaos and confusion and conflict in my mind, and I'm trying to hold on to it. Why? Because I want to hold on to differences. Because differences gives me the ability to choose which one of these fantasies I want. And so you learn to deal with part of the truth in one way and in another way the other part. To fragment truth is to destroy it by rendering it meaningless. Orders of reality is a perspective without understanding, a frame of reference for reality to which it cannot really be compared at all. Orders of reality. See, we're going to put a different value on everything. We're going to put a number system on it. We're going to put a gold star and a silver star and a blue star and a red star on it. And when we fragment truth, it becomes meaningless. It all starts with desire. In other words, this is your choice. You want your will or you want your wish. You want truth or you want fantasy. From that comes purpose and function. Then comes meaning and understanding. What did he just say? If you fragment truth, you begin to desire the fantasy of the separated idea, of the fragmented and differentiated idea. Then the mind will give a purpose and a function to it and attempt to put meaning on it. But it's meaningless. You've rendered it meaningless. And what does he say? Orders of reality is a perspective without understanding. Why can't you understand it? Because you can't understand something that is meaningless. Think you that you can bring truth to fantasy and learn what truth means from the perspective of illusions? See, that's what we're attempting to do. We are attempting to fix the world. We're going to bring truth to illusion. Oh, I've got truth in my mind, so let me bring it over here to illusion and fix this illusion. Let me incorporate the illusion with truth. No, you bring the illusion to truth and it disappears. Truth has no meaning in illusion. The frame of reference for its meaning must be itself. When you try to bring truth to illusions, you are trying to make illusions real and keep them by justifying your belief in them. I remember Larry told me years ago, what part of this dream are you trying to make real? I'm sure there still is things I'm still trying to make real. It's a temptation to make teaching this course real and being a teacher of the course and trying to make that real. But it is meaningless and it can't be understood. How do you trying to keep them? By justifying your belief in them. Faith, belief, and seeing. When you join faith and belief with vision, you begin to see and distinguish between truth and illusion. And you begin to change your desire about truth and illusion. And this word only starts coming to mind. Because that's only what there is. These are total thought systems. And you can't be in both at the same time. I believe he's going to go into that here. So as that happens, I only want truth. I don't even want perception. I want corrected perception if I'm in it, but I only want knowledge. I only want reality. I only want truth. But to give illusions to truth is to enable truth to teach that illusions are unreal, and thus enable you to escape from them. Reserve not one idea aside from truth, or you establish orders of reality that must imprison you. Not one idea. See, this is the only thing. Not one idea. I want everything in truth except, this one idea. I want everything in truth, but I want to hold on to this special love relationship thing. I want everything in truth except I gotta hate this person. This one person, it's not justified in my mind that they should be forgiven. Can't be the Son of God. Everybody else is, but not that. Well, understanding that there's only whole frames of reference and whole thought systems, you've imprisoned yourself. Prison is prison. There's not a little bit of prison. You're either in prison or you're not. There is no order in reality because everything there is true. It's all the same. It's all true. Be willing then to give all you have held outside the truth to him who knows the truth and in whom all is brought to truth. Salvation from separation would be complete or will not be at all. See, it's either or. It's one or the other. It's complete or it's not. I'm not kind of saved. You're not kind of saved, kind of healed, mostly healed. No, that thought of levels has to be left behind. Be not concerned with anything except your willingness to have this be accomplished. He will accomplish it, not you. But forget not this. When you become disturbed and lose your peace of mind because another is attempting to solve his problems through fantasy, you are refusing to forgive yourself for just this same attempt. There's a wake-up call, huh? You're judging somebody. I know all about this ego. Look at this ego over here. Look what they're doing. See, what's happening here is they have a thought of weakness, and so now they're manifesting it over here. And look at that. You think if they would just... I've been giving them this course. I bought them a course book. I've been telling them, but no, they want to hold on to that. Well, guess what? You seeing that, you believing that, you seeing in the same frame of reference of illusion and fantasy, that can only be seen from the same reference point. That's you. And that's why you lost your peace. If you're disturbed at what they're doing, it's because you're looking from the same frame of reference. And you are holding both of you away from truth and from salvation. As you forgive him, you restore to truth what was denied by both of you, and you will see forgiveness where you have given it. It took a while for me to finally realize that the place that the Holy Spirit and Jesus has taken us to is to not be able to see error. We just read in chapter 16 what's really going on. What's really going on is giving and receiving miracles with increase in gratitude. There are so many lilies of forgiveness going back and forth all the time. And we're swatting them away with our beliefs and our desire to be in fantasy world, in la-la land. We're swatting them away. No, that's not what's going on. There ain't no miracles going on here. Nothing to see here, folks. But it is going on. If I can only see my brother as the great ray, even beyond the great ray, to see only the golden circle of light that we are as the sonship, what have I to do with any illusion, with any error even? I promise you can get there. we can get there together. Because that is the beauty of the real world. The real world is an illusion. It is a so-called journey. But toward the highest places of that real world mentality is this place of easy translation into the heavenly thought, because you've dealt with illusion. Errors are illusion. So you're even beyond errors.